Hello, 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 my darlings. How are everybody doing today? I hope you're doing good. I'm having coffee. It's 85 degrees in here, but this is like lukewarm coffee. I don't want it too hot because then I just start sweating sitting still. Mm. Ding, ding, ding. Um. Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. Get somebody coming over to help me put together a cabinet. All right, maybe that can wait. Maybe that can wait. Um, Today we're going to talk about galactic signatures and both of your astrological charts. Now, if you don't have a computer and all you have is a phone, you may want to take some notes. If you don't already know how to do this. Now, I've given these instructions before. However, it's been a couple of years and got new people in here who haven't gotten this far yet. So we're going to do this again. So people can, it's just tools of empowerment. It's tools to help you empower yourselves. And I talk about that all the time. Because without you, there is no anything else. Right? Think about that statement for a minute. Without your attention, without you, the rest of the world wouldn't exist. Right? Am I right? Okay. So, you like my new painting? I just started working. Well, I'm just finishing it up. It's yeah, she's watching the waterfall from afar. I haven't gotten it done yet. The rocks need to be detailed and stuff, but coffee. Drinking coffee, Margaret. But yeah, that's my most recent painting I've been working on when I have the chance. Because lately life has been very, very busy. Um, so if you do have a computer and you're talking on your phone or whatever, um, go to, wait a minute. For one, you have astrotheme.com, which is my favorite. You put astrotheme birth chart or birth calculator in there, natal chart. Okay, so put birth chart, and that should take you to the birth chart calculator, which will don't just click on anything though. Go make sure you go to Astro Theme free birth chart with descendants because it's free and they don't ask you for no money. And you plug in your details there. If you don't know time of birth, I think you put in if you think it was afternoon 12 p.m. If you think it was morning 12 a.m. The only thing you won't get with that is your rising sign, and that it won't be correct unless you have Shark Week, huh? Yeah, it won't be correct unless your ascendant won't be astrotheme.com, and it says birth chart calculator. That's where you will find your information on your birth chart. Okay, I'll plug in my details and I'll show you how to work this site. I need a little more effort. I made that coffee before I started. I was like, I need a little get up and go, because I've been going for a while now. All right, plug in my details. I know exactly what time I was born because I had my baby bracelet up until I left Ohio. So even though the state of Ohio says I was born at 12 a.m. in 2020, which is completely wrong because all of my driver's license say different, throughout my entire life, I will have to go to probate to get that settled. Believe it or not, the state of Ohio did not listen to me. And no matter what proof I brought them, said that I will have to go to court to get it corrected. Which is bullshit, but that's just how it is. Okay, so, and that's part of this, though, is I'm going to show you how to navigate this site. So you click next, right? Can y'all see? I wish I could share my screen. I don't know how to do that yet. I'm learning, though. I'm learning stuff. So if you know your exact date of birth or your exact time of birth, it will tell you what your rising sign is. Starts off with your zodiac sign, goes down to your moon sign. In this case, it's a Gemini, but I don't identify with that. My ascendant is Sagittarius. I really don't identify with that either because that's the Tada person, and I'm not really that kind of person. But, you know, I'm more of a Scorpio rising, which is my other chart. I like to expose hidden thing. Don's doing all right. I'll take good care of him, so he's doing all right. Okay, so when you get to the chart part, I don't know if you can see that. The chart part. See? That part right there. You can navigate to every single planet. Okay, so say here's my Jupiter in Gemini, right? See that? Hover over it, tap it, and it will bring up an entire explanation of what that means in what house it's in. In my case, it's in the 7th house, which is relationships and spirituality and basically God. And I am a life path 7. So this is my power. This is who I am. And even though it's in Gemini, I guess I related to Gemini most of my life in duality, but now I don't. Now I'm more of a Taurian energy, which is in my other chart. So that's how you navigate the astro theme, you know, and then you just click over to the side here and you can collapse that. There's a little orange button. You collapse it, go back to the chart, hover over your moon, and it brings up what that moon means in your sign. Now, whether you identify with it or not, you might not. So that's what I'm saying. You got to read both charts. I figured this out when, you know, when I started working for AstroTalk. Just look up Eastern astrology chart for the second one, and any of them should be able to tell you. Let's see which ones pop up. 4 pillars, year, month, day. Okay, so there's one called Sohoin China. You can go on that one, or Astro Mitra, which I would probably recommend that over the other one, but and again, you enter your birth details. You only have to put in your first name. You don't have to put in your last name, your surname, or anything like that. But this one's going to ask you if you're male or female, because that does matter. Ley lines matter with Eastern astrology as well, where they don't in tropical astrology. But it's a whole different system. And then you put in your details again. And in this one, you got to agree with the terms and conditions, which means they can look at it too. Okay. This is going to give you a whole breakdown of your ascendant. It's going to give you your nakshatras, which that's pretty advanced, and your moon sign. Then it'll give you the rest of your planets and what powers that you can pull out of yourself. Because this, you got to understand, this is like I said, it's step into your power. The way you step into your power is by knowing yourself. And by knowing why you do some of the things you do. What's all these people bothering me for? Does one make sense more than the other? No, they kind of coincide with each other, actually. Even though I'm a Gemini moon in tropical astrology, which is younger than Eastern astrology, I'm more of a Taurus moon now in my older years. I'm stubborn as hell and like nice things. I know who I am. To where when I was younger, I was more in that duality energy of Gemini, which makes perfect sense. So, does both of them peg you completely? No. But putting both of them together instead of just looking at one helps you make more sense of astrology, period. All right. I hope that helps some of you find out the astro theme birth chart calculator. That's where you need to go. So when you go there, it's going to give you a little box, and you put your details in there, and then you hit next, and then it's going to confirm, and then you hit next again, and then it'll take you to a description. It'll say your sun sign, your moon sign, your ascendant. If you got the right time of birth. If you don't have the right time of birth, the ascendant might not be correct. So that's why knowing the time you were born is kind of important on both charts. Otherwise, 12 a.m. for early morning or 12 p.m. for afternoon, if you know kind of in what area it is. So that's what I suggest everybody do, is look into both charts so you can see where, okay, well, that makes perfect sense. But I used to be like that, but I'm not like that anymore. I've changed, and and you'll see the changes in both charts. It's a trip. It's really a trip to see how your life has evolved from when you were younger to now if you're older, or as you're younger evolves into your older self. So Like I said, Moon Pie, you can hover over each planet and it will give you a detailed description of what that means in that house, in that planet. Oh, well, that's good. At least you look. There's a lot of people that don't even look, King Scorpion. A lot of people don't even look. They just chalk it up as fate. When you really have control of that, if you know what you're looking at, if you start learning about yourself and knowing thyself completely, enough to hug thyself when thyself is feeling like shit. All right. And I was just there 2 days ago, guys. 2 days ago. I cried for about an hour. About that. I'm just all out of tears, I guess, because did it affect me? Yeah, for about an hour. And then I got back up and I said, all right, strap on my big girl panties and take the next step. Why is what so hard? How you doing? With Pisces, you're feeling everybody right now. You're feeling everybody's pain. You're feeling everybody's stuff. So try not to take that on as your own. Try not to take a lot of that on as your own. And we can't help it. We have the capacity to love the whole world and the whole human race. Speaking of which, you won't believe some of the crap I saw on Instagram. I think I said it in one of the videos where people were being asked if Homo sapiens should be saved, and that Homo sapiens are going extinct, and nobody understood what the question was. They were like, well, we don't live with them, so. And then somebody else said, save the human race. And it's like, gosh, am I the only one that took science and biology in school? I mean, because they even had one lady who was our age, who was probably 60 plus, say, oh yeah, I saw one in a zoo once. And the guy goes, well, what do they look like? And she says, oh, they have covered in fur, and they're big, and sometimes they beat their chest, and she was referring to a gorilla, my guess. And I'm going, well, we know what's wrong here, Homo sapiens are the human race. If you don't know that, then I ain't got nothing for you. I can't help you. I can't help you. If you don't know that a Homo sapien is a human, look it up, please. Because that's just ridiculous. Damn ridiculous. They ask so many people of all different ages on the street. And we wonder why other countries want to get rid of us. Because we allow people the ignorance that they walk around with. And we just, as stupid as stupid does. The Indian chart, which is the Eastern chart. That's the Eastern version, not Native American. Native American goes by 13 moons, which is the next thing I'm going to teach you. I have 2 Native American tribes in my blood, my father and my grandmother. My grandmother, they're both orphans. Don't ask me how. Both orphaned as children. My father at birth. My grandmother, I don't know what age she was by the time she was orphaned, but she's back in it. She was born in like 1935, something like that, I believe. So that would be that era, if you know what I mean. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. And I'll show you a picture of her. She's got Cherokee blood. That's my grandmother. Okay? Little dark woman with black hair, black eyes. That's my mother. Because my grandfather was like total European, Scot, Swede. He was blonde haired and blue eyed, and my mother was red haired and green eyed. So half the kids got the dark and half the kids got the light. Half the kids got the dark skin, the dark eyes, and half the kids got the freckles and the red hair or the blonde hair. And on my dad's side, he has Blackfoot, which originates out of Ohio. And he was left on the doorstep. So, of his great aunt and uncle, like farm folk. He grew up on a farm. My mom didn't, but he did. And sometimes you got to cry it out. Okay. Now, by Native American standards, you go to Galactic Signature Decoder. Okay? It says Galactic Signature Decoder. And then a bunch of stuff's going to pop up. My recommended site, and that's what this channel was named after, is the Law of Time. Foundation for the Law of Time. It's https://lawoftime.org-decode. And you can pull up your galactic signature by, again, going to the box. This is the landing page. You go to the box. This is by 13 moons, not by 12. And you type in your birth date right there. Just your birth date. You don't need time. And then you hit decode. Then it will bring up your galactic signature, which is who you are as far as the stars are concerned. All right, not as far as your astrological chart, but who you are as a being and what you're here to basically bring into the world. So it's very good read. Now for me, I'll put my details here. It says Galactic Moon 22. So that means that not only do I have a 7 life path, but according to this, I have a 22 life path, which is a master builder. Year of the yellow crystal seed. Star seed. Hello. And then it's got your galactic signature. Mine is the red galactic dragon. And many of you will find out that you are either dragons or kin to the red galactic tribe. And that's kind of what, that's why I get blocked, because I give way too much information out. I give too many outlets to find your purpose. So mine's red Kin 21, red Galactic Dragon, and it gives you an affirmation. My affirmation is I harmonize in order to nurture, modeling being. I seal the input of birth. With the galactic tone of integrity, I am guided by the power of life force. So I'm here to reborn, not to destroy, and to protect, which that brings all of this into play when you start reading. If you want to read about yourself, it says find you see click here to download your 13 moon calendar, galactic compass, and you can find out who shares your galactic signature like we care. I mean, it's like, you will see those on your astrology charts too, like celebrities that holds your same birthday or your same chart or chart characteristics and stuff like that. Like I said, I don't care personally. Like I said, and I've said that a million times. I've never wanted to be anybody but me, even as a kid, and this is one of the reasons why we were so traumatized, is so they could traumatize that right out of us. So we would never remember. We would never figure it out. We would never come to terms with who we are. That we just keep looping time after time after time after time. Just keep looping that family trauma, that family loop, that our forefathers, grandfathers, grandmothers, all the people that came before us had to live. Now, my grandmother was different. She was different from my mom. She was different from my whole family. She was different from everybody in my family. She was a very intuitive person. And she was very loving, very kind, and very gentle, but you didn't want to get on the wrong side of her. Okay? So she was my hero my whole life. Now, if I had a hero, that would be her, because she endured losing her husband when he was 49, raising 2 kids on her own, because my aunt and uncle were only 3 years and a year and a half apart from me. She held it all together like a champ, and I never saw her flinch, not even once. She just handled it. So yeah, she was my hero. My mother, she let the world take her out before the age of 70, right before her birthday. Matter of fact, before she turned 70 that year. She had suffered so much misery up to that point, she gave up. And, who's to judge that path? You're not the judge of that path. They chose that. And sometimes you just have to understand. That was like the most difficult thing for me ever. And that happened in 2018. So having to overcome those sort of things is very, very difficult. And the only family I really got left are my children. So she was the last one. My brother died in 2016, my little brother. My dad died in 2014, and she in 2018. So you see how they were 2 years apart? My year was 2020, guys. And everything that could try, that wasn't, a literal coming and taking it away from me did in 2020. I'm still here. I had to heal myself and come back from literal almost death. But you have to want life, or it will take you down. You have to want it. If you don't want it anymore, then, other people are just going to have to understand that you're tired and you're done. Some people will be. Because this is only the beginning of the spiritual WAR. I mean, you're seeing it already. We've been seeing it for the last, since 2012. Actually, before that, probably since 2001, I think was when they kicked it all off. And then it's been going for 25 years. I wouldn't do that, Margaret. The only reason why I say that is because everybody in my family who took that test, they're not here anymore. Everybody, all my aunts and uncles, everybody that took that ancestry test, they're all gone. And one of them was only 3 years older than me. She died in 24, from what I hear. Like I said, I was outcasted at 16, so they didn't really pay attention to me much. They didn't even know I had a son when my mother passed away, and he was 30 years old by then. So it is what it is with our families. Not only, that's what I'm saying, and not only that, they have your biometrics. So if you go to the doctor, they give you the wrong shot, you may wish you were that way, because that's what happened to my mother. She got the pneumonia shot, and for some strange reason, collapsed one night with pneumonia. Her heart gave out. Her kidneys gave up. She was diabetic. So understand that a lot of this is by design, because the entrapping the light workers, the grid workers, which is why I never get any views, it's part of the game. It's part of the game. It is to try to hold on to our light and feed on that. So if you, that's why sometimes disconnection, you have to disconnect from family, from friends, and go it alone sometimes, because you know what's true for you, and you know what you've done wrong, and you know what you've done right, and you know. Now, does anybody else know everything about you? Not unless you tell them. And if you do tell them and they use it against you, well, that shows you the narcissism right there. Narcissism. Notice how I said that? And you have to pull yourself out of that. That's why I tell you to empower yourselves through knowledge. Use the technology for yourself as an ally and not an enemy. That's what I'm doing. It is. Grieving the living is harder than grieving someone that's already gone. All right, done with that. Back to water. Try to stay cool. It's so hot. Okay. They do, but it comes in trauma dumping instead of Instead of the way it should come, people want to trauma dump. Okay, so, oh, I know exactly what you're going through because I'm going through it myself. This and this and this and this and this and this. Listen to my problems. Because they make so much sense because your life was like that too. I understand needing somebody to talk to. And I've done a lot of talking to some somebodies. And it's been used against me in the Narc-system many times. Every time I have a friend, every time I have somebody I confide in. Now, I got one friend now that understands and doesn't do that to me. They're also a Pisces. And if I need help or I need assistance or I need anything, that Pisces is right there if they can be. So that's all I allow in my energy anymore, is somebody who's got my back. Because most of these people out here, you cannot trust with your secrets or your energy. The narcissist will turn it over and use it against you and mess up your words and change all that. I don't know. I don't know why they're like. It's just like somebody. I had to exit another Darth Vader from my page today. I hate doing that. I hate making people disappear, abracadabra. But I'd rather have that than somebody take my words and use them against me. And instead of people listening to my words and what I say, they misconstrue what I say and turn it into something to get triggered or pissed off about. If you get triggered and pissed off about anything I say, then you may want to turn around and look in the mirror, because most of the time I'm speaking truth and I'm speaking sense, common sense. So this person left a comment saying, tarot cards for entertainment? You think it's fun to play with people's lives like that? Who do you think you are? Squeeze me? Pardon? I'm explaining that these were originally designed as playing cards. Okay? They were not designed to live your life by them. So I'm a red galactic dragon. Not just a red dragon. There's two different ones. One's just red dragon. The other one's red galactic dragon. They're different. They have different symbols, different kins. You can read about that. Anyways, so when people project onto my collective and me like that, I just exit them. I don't have no time. I'm already to, like I said, I go up against giants every single day. Every day I live. And I'm still here and I'm still surviving and I'm still wandering around this big blue ball or whatever the hell we live on. I don't know. I've never been outside it, so I couldn't tell you. I know I've been here for a very, very, very long time. Thousands of years. And these are the things that you come into realization of once you start knowing thyself. You remember past lifetimes. You remember things that are so detailed that you can't unsee it. No, people are not born bad. You are given the choice, always, to let your life shape you. Now, was my life great? No. I was fed to the beast as a toddler. And I remember that. And my mother saving my ass. My father was abusive. No matter how good we had it, it was never good enough for me. I was the black sheep. So when my father asked to see me in 2012 before I left Florida, he lived in Venice, I lived in Tampa Bay, and I never went down to see him. This was while he was dying, basically. He asked me to come and see him before I left Florida. I almost did. But at that point in your life, what's he got to say is going to change anything? Going to change anything? Going to make it right? I already forgave him long time ago. And that was on me to do that, not him. You know, you can't expect someone else to answer for the way you've evolved your life. Now, like I said, I have turned out to be an evil person? Well, yeah. I could have taken all that trauma and all that hate that I received from my entire family, my whole life, and turned really, really dark. Did I? No. I let it teach me, though, including husbands, boyfriends, children. I let it teach me to be who I am today. And now I'm here to show people that you can be born into a bad situation and not turn out to be a bad person. Somebody said I had entity attachments. Don't we all? I mean, come on now. We've been trapped in this matrix for thousands of years. We've all got some kind of attachment to this earth. And anybody that says they don't and they could get rid of what you got is full of shit. All right? You're going to charge you $1,000. I gave an example in both my readings today. How this lady, who I believed in because I used her for over a year, for about a year and a half. And yes, I paid her for services of protection and things like that. And, things I thought I had no control over. So she told me I had a jinn and she could help me get rid of it and this and all. Okay. So I listened to her for a long time until the last time. The last time she told me, okay, because she knew things that I didn't tell her. I wouldn't do it, Margaret. She knew things I didn't tell her. So I knew she had some psychic abilities. So I used them to the best of my advantage. Until she wanted to charge me $3,500 to protect myself with some fucking candle. She said that I needed protection against this witch or this demon that was with this celebrity that was, what do they call it, when doppelganging the celebrity and blah, 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 whatever. Anyways. And then she tells me that in order to meet this person, who I've never met before, mind you, not in this lifetime anyway, wants me to dress up in a disguise and go meet them somewhere undisclosed. Huh? What you planning? Are you planning a robbery? You ain't gonna get much. But what I'm saying is, put that into a realist perspective, which is what I do, instead of, just flying. Oh my gosh, I'm really gonna meet them. And all I got to do is give up my total sovereignty and not protect myself and disguise myself in the meantime. Mama done taught me better. My grandma taught me better. I don't go meet people I don't know in undisclosed places in disguise. Duh. But as soon as she did that, I cut her off. Like I said, some of these people, although they know things they shouldn't know, do not have your best interest at heart. So be very aware of who you're paying attention to, what you're paying attention to, because they can rope you in, get you in there. So when I give you a reading, I don't want it to be a repetitive thing. I want you to get as much out of one reading as you can possibly get from me. Then I want you to go grow. And then if you need to come back for seconds, we can talk about it. But 9 times out of 10, most of my readings are so complete that most people don't have to come back for a second reading. God, it's hot here. Sorry, guys, I'm in really strap t-shirt here, and ugh. $23andMe, it doesn't, any of those. It doesn't matter which one you use. They're all tied to the same database. All right? And all your medical information along with it. So that's why I started working on becoming a homeopath, learning how to heal myself without, I still go to the doctor every 3 months. It's like 90 degrees in the house right now. But I got all the windows and doors closed because my neighbor's out there painting the back of their house in my yard. Oh no, they've had this tech for thousands of years. They just keep destroying it because they're stupid. I don't blame evil. I blame ignorance. All right. And people, this is how we keep having to reset over and over and over again. Because they use it for nefarious purposes out of ignorance. Because they want to continue their party at our expense. Trauma bonding. Yeah, exactly. Well, that's where, like I said, if you take back your power and you start learning things on your own, whether it's in the cloud or not, they have no control over how you take your power back. That's part of this. That's why I have 26 people in here instead of 2,000, like a lot of other people who get $50, $100. The only one that I see that's even close to my channel has had to pay high price for where they're at, and that is Morgue. Okay. No, I'm not Margaret. She fucked me over just like everybody else. So understand that the channels that you see a lot of times are there to manipulate your energy, to get you triggered, to get you out of your power, to give you away your power. It's like cutting your, especially if you're here to help, if you're here to help people understand that all you see is not real. Yeah, I'm down to one friend too, Margaret, and it's a guy. So, but he's still my friend. You know, he's not my boyfriend, just a guy friend. And this is where people don't even know they're Homo sapien, King. How they gonna use an intuition they don't even know exists? I mean, if you don't know you're a human, duh. So, and that's what we end up being, super awkward loners. But as soon as you embrace that, instead of feeling like you're left out in the cold, that Five of Pentacles, Three of Swords, as soon as you let go of that and say, the reason why I'm alone is because I have common sense and an intuition. You understand it, and you embrace it, instead of making it what I want to say, a crooks, something to hold you down. You're like, bitch, I'm powerful. So what's your point? You know, and you don't give in to the fears of others and the projections of others. Somebody said, every time I speak my truth, I turn into the villain. He said that to me today. And I said, I've been the villain for as long as I can remember. And I ain't never hurt nobody. They've been villainizing me since I was a teenager, since I was a child. And I never hurt nobody. And I can't say that about my little brother. I did try to sit on his face with a pillow. But that was only after he was able to talk for a few years. So pause, play, record. Start using the breath technique that I gave in the video, for one, because at 20 breaths per second, you know, I mean, you're never going to find any stillness. And you take deep breaths. Take 4 breaths in, hold for 4 breaths, or for 4 count. Say 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 6. Pause for 2, and then repeat as many times as you need to bring yourself back to your center. Okay, and then once you get back to your center, then go back to wherever you were. If you were trying to look it up, trying to figure out how to block it, you know, you don't really block it though. That's the point. And I told in my Pisces video, the last video that I did, it was, you are the vast ocean, Pisces, 12th house. You can heal or you can maim. You can destroy or you can heal with this energy. And that goes for yourself too. Because as the vast ocean, you absorb the E equals motion, the E motion of the entire collective. And you can't really block it out. How does someone promote harmony from places? I do it all the time, Bill. I do it all the time. I'm always solitary, except for taking care of an 87-year-old man who can't get out of bed. I am solitary. And I take care of everything. Everything. bills, house, person, myself, and I run 2 channels. Don't ask me how I do it. I just put one foot in front of the other. You know? And that's all you can do. You can't expect Joe Schmo down the road to feel the same way you do all the time. You can't even expect your friends to understand you. Because like I said, I had one for a while and I thought she was cool. Until the month before, she actually told me she didn't want me to come and hang around with her no more. And then, of course, that was my fault. But she threw me under the bus in front of her husband. And I caught it, but I ignored it. You know, like us Pisces do, we ignore it. But her saying to her own husband in front of me that, well, if Anya was saying it, you'd listen. Red flag. I knew something was going to happen after that. A month later, she texts me and accuses me of being a stalker groupie to her friends because she knows a couple of celebrities. Or they're not really celebrities, they're just old washed up musicians from back in the day. And I was like, oh my God, really? I hadn't talked to none of them, but she accused me of talking to them like I was trying to get their attention in some way, shape, or form. I don't care enough. I don't care enough. But she accused me of that, and that was the end of the friendship. For me, anyway. Because I don't look at people like that. Not celebrities, not any. I don't look at anybody with stars in my eyes. You're a human being. You bleed the same way I do. You have the same challenges I do. We all live in this matrix. We're all just trying to get along. And like I said, I've never wanted to be anybody but me. So there's that. And I've already been through the, like I went to the Halloween party dressed as Trinity, only with a long black wig. And I was there for about 3 hours, I think, in the club, and just hanging out and looking around. And she come up beside me with her boobs hanging out, going, "Hi!" Every time somebody tried to talk to me. She's only a few years younger than me, mind you, but she's acting like she's 12. Bye, sweetheart. And I saw, I was looking around, and I turned around and I said to her, I said, "Man, this so feels like 30 years ago." I think there was a little offense taken to that. But it was where I was at 30 years ago, you know. You know, and so when she said that to me, all I could say to her was, "I don't know what kind of drama you got going on in your life, but I want no part of it. It was nice knowing you. Bye." That was my response. Block. Because I'm tired. You know? I don't play those reindeer games no more. You either come to me with honesty and truth and integrity, or stay the fuck out of my life. I'd rather be alone than have somebody who secretly jabbing knives in my back behind my back. I'm just saying, you know, when you don't project your shit on other people anymore. Okay, Aaron, well, it's nice to see you. I know you can't stay long. I will say to you, Aaron, in particular, because I know you're a Pisces, and I know how things are feeling for you right now. Be a little more patient with yourself. Breathe. Because every time you got to start over, you got to start over. Don't keep doing that to yourself. Okay? Sometimes it takes a while to get where you're going. Took me 4 months. 4 months. That's 30 days times 4. So, and you get to a point where you really want to give up. You really just want to say, screw it. Stop being hard on yourself. Breathe. You may not be where you want to be just yet, but you're getting there. You're taking the correct steps to get there. And that's what matters. No matter how long it takes. Sometimes it takes 4 months. Sometimes it takes a while longer. But you get there eventually, as long as you're willing to be patient. And patience is really super necessary right now, especially for my Pisces. Because like I said, you're the ocean, babies. You feel it all, no matter what side of the world it's on. So take a step back and breathe. And Scorpio, you're busy transforming this shit. So think about that. It's not just your sun sign. It's whatever's in your 8th house and your 12th house. That's why I do those two houses. Is because that is the end of the world. The transformation, the death, the rebirth, the endings and new beginnings, which is 12th house. It's all tied together. Look at what your 8th house represents. That's where you need to either transform something, end something, rebirth something. And 8th house is also, your sacral chakra, your sexuality, and your creativity. So you're transforming something. You're the phoenix rising in the 8th house. Something has to die and something new to be reborn through you, through your elevation or through your ascension. This is the ascending energies. This is why I concentrate on those houses. And Scorpio is all about seduction. So it's, it's not just Capricorn that's the addiction, the seduction, and all that. It is all of them, even Scorpio and even Pisces. Pisces is an escape artist. All right? So if they ain't happy where they at, they're going to find some way to escape, even if it's only in their mind. All right? I've had escapism my whole life. Addicted to stuff that I had no business being addicted to. Mountain Dew was one of them. I'll tell you what, 30 years of abuse of Mountain Dew has completely destroyed my teeth. I ain't touched one in a few years. Well, I've had maybe 1 or 2 here and there. These are all addictions, even if they're just as simple as a soda. But when you drink 6 to 12 a day because you work so hard from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., it becomes an addiction, just like anything else. So just keep moving through these changes and you'll find out where your power lies. Like I said, go to the charts that I told you to go to, the Eastern chart, the Western chart, the Galactic 13 moon chart, and it all ties together. Mm. Uh, in tropical astrology, 100% Pisces. In Vedic astrology, 100% Aquarius. You can tell both of them in my personality. So in tropical astrology, both are fourth house. 5 planets. 5 planets. Count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All and important ones too, like Saturn, Mercury, Mars, Sun, Chiron. All important houses. All important planets, I mean, in one house. Fourth house. And guess what the fourth house represents? Cancer, the home, the family, stability, the Four of Wands, the Chariot. It's forward movement. It's so being stuck in that paradigm was my karma, which is Saturn, that I had to pay off in this lifetime in order to ascend into my North Node, which is Taurus. So, like I said, there's an explanation for all of it in your charts. And once you start diving deep and going in deep, and these cards can no longer tell you who you are or what you got going on. Can they predict the programming? Absolutely. If you have any kind of intuition to read them. But then there are people who use them for nefarious gain, to enrich themselves, to just get the money and not think about the harm that they do other people by telling them bullshit. It's like you'll never hear me sit here and just continually ego stroke you. Oh, well, you're perfect and everybody else sucks. We all got our downfalls. Ain't nobody that don't have some kind of toxicity or obstruction in their life. And if they do, they an angel. They don't belong on this planet. I don't belong on this planet. But like I said, in the Eastern astrology, that fourth house contains all Aquarian energy, which is the Queen of Swords, which you can now see in my life. It's the truth and nothing but the truth, or you can go hang out back with the rest of them. I ain't got no time. So, like I said, it's like the older you get, the more you identify with the other chart. Scorpio rising instead of the Sagittarius. Now, during my lifetime, I've been a singer, I've been a dancer. I've been a lot of things in entertainment, which is all Sagittarian energy. And I did a lot of traveling. So that's what Sagittarius does. My grandmother and my mother were both Sagittariuses. Okay, honey, you go have dinner. Love you too. And now I identify more with the Scorpio energy as an overall energy because of the transformation that I've gone to. Do I care about the spotlight anymore? No. Do not give a shit. In fact, if I could hide from it and still help people, I would. And that's Scorpio energy. Just leave me alone, So, being psychic doesn't guarantee to know. It does not. Like I just explained to you about the spiritualist I was working with. Were there nefarious things in the background going on? Well, I'm guessing, because nobody that's had any kind of common sense in their right mind is going to go meet somebody they don't know in a disguise in a undisclosed location unless they're stupid, unless they were raised with no common sense whatsoever. So, and this woman was psychic AF. But did I listen to that? Because I knew better. You know better. So when somebody comes to me and says, all these readings are pointing to this and that and the other thing, and I give them the truth, sometimes they don't like to hear it. And they get pissed off because they keep asking the same question over and over and over again. And I give them an honest answer. It ain't the answer they want, but it's the answer I got. Because it's the truth. That's the only thing I will ever say. I won't promise you riches when you're not doing anything to accumulate it or to try to do it in your own life. You're just sitting there waiting for somebody to hand it to you on a silver platter. All right? I'm not going to tell you, yeah, you're going to be rich and you're going to be a millionaire and you're going to get everything that you want. All you got to do is sit on your ass and wish for it. No, you have to integrate. You have to do something. With every action comes a reaction. So you have to put in the effort in order to see the results. I put in 5 years on this channel, and I'm still not seeing the results, my darlings. But it's because I make sense. Because I don't bullshit people. I don't do it just for the money. If I did, I'd been out money a long time ago. I'm just saying. Do I do it for fame? No. Don't give a shit about fame. I used to when I was young, but do I care now? Absolutely not. Money. I'm not rich. Not by any means. And do I get penalized for my honesty and integrity? Absolutely. With YouTube. I get dropped out of the algorithm that quick. Which is why I'm going to hammer these shorts out hard over the next, say, 4 to 6 weeks. I'm going to be putting out at least 3 shorts a week. I'm going to try to on every video, which will give you the link to the full video. And at least 3 videos a week per sign, per hidden realms, per Anya's Tarot. Now, I ain't going to concentrate on the brand channel as much unless I get a chance to upload, because sometimes I get too much. Sorry, I need a drink. I get bogged down with too much information in my computer, and I have to delete sometimes. So, and those are usually re-uploads, and it's just trying to keep track of some of the stuff, and just in case. That's a just in case channel. Because Lord knows I've been dealing with these dark little things for a long time. And have they tried to take me out several times. Which is why I don't hire anybody anymore. I do everything myself. Oh, good. I'm glad. That's what I'm here to do, is to be helpful. I'm not here to judge you. I'm not here to tell you how to live your life. And Evie, that if only 20 people get anything out of this, then I've done my job. And this is, like I said, the part that a lot of people, a lot of these powerful people and celebrities, and they don't understand this, that I don't care if I'm famous or not. That's all they strive for. Being popular. I don't care. My truth has never been popular, so I've gotten used to being villainized. Because I call a spade a spade. And if I'm wrong, I'm willing to admit I'm wrong. Sorry. I'm willing to admit anytime I'm wrong. I take accountability for my screw ups. So I don't leave anybody any choice but to respect that. It's my integrity. And I prefer to be an honest mofo and not have any regrets than to have 1 million subscribers making $1 million a year. I mean, I don't get me wrong. I'd love $1 million right now. I love $10 million right now. 10 million? Do I hit 10 million? But is that my end game? I don't know what my end game is. I'm just rolling with the homies, just like the rest of you. And trying to stay in my integrity and do the best thing for myself, as well as anybody else that's in my life, including my children and my children's children. I want to leave a legacy of truth, even if I don't become a gazillionaire. Something for them to be proud of, not be shameful of. Because I did my very best. Even if my best wasn't good enough for a lot of people. I've done my very best. Last time she saw who? Who are you talking about? Anyway, got a Queen of Wands and a Three of Pentacles here. A collaboration with the Queen of Wands. Swing. Past love. Oh, damn. No. We ain't playing this game again. Homie's gonna get a different deck. I said deck, damn it. Yeah. We're out here doing the damn thing. You out here doing the damn thing. You ain't hiding away and acting like the world don't exist. You can't help but feel it. Because your intuition is showing you what you need to know. So tomorrow, my job will be to clip shorts from all 3 videos I did today and post them tomorrow. Every day I'll be doing something. Then the next day I'll do videos. And, I mean, it's a lot of work. But I'm working with an AI program that's telling me what to do. Because I can easily trick the bots, and as long as I'm willing to put in the work. And then that way, I mean, I got so frustrated that I was ready to quit a couple of days ago. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm tired. I've got 5 years and over 4,000 videos invested in both of my channels. It's solid, but it's hard to keep up if you don't know anything about technology. So if you don't use AI is going to use you. Does that make sense? So if you don't learn to use it as an ally, it will use you as a feeding system. So my suggestion would be to learn as much as you can right now. No matter how, I don't care if you're 85 years old. You're never too old to learn. You're never too old to learn. And that's where this world's going. And unless you keep up with the times, you're going to fall behind. So I'm learning. I was really turned off by it. And I didn't want to have to go there. But I finally gave in, because it's either that or I'm going to sit here and feel sorry for myself for all the work I've put in so far that nobody's even watching. 450,000 subscribers and I get 2,000 views a video. Tell me what kind of sense that makes. It don't make any sense. So, use your intuition when it comes to the Five of Pentacles. The reason for the Five of Pentacles is because of your intuition, Pisces and Aquarius energy. Okay? The reason is they're harvesting this energy from you. So take it back. That's what I'm here to show you. That's why I give you those charts. That's why I give you the self-empowerment tools. When you get a reading from me, I try to make it as clear and concise as possible, unless it's just an average reading. Sometimes I give you a chart reading along with the reading, because I want you to learn as much about yourself as you can. So this doesn't feel so hard. Being left out in the cold, being away from the crowd, not having a whole lot to offer anybody, because you really do. You really do. This is just how you're made to feel, so you can't step into this. And they do it on purpose. Well, you learn how to battle back. And you do that by leading by example. It's the only way. Like I said, am I going to be working my ass off? Well, absolutely. But I am not putting I'm putting some of it in the hands of AIs when it comes to my Instagram. Because some of that's just bullshit anyway. But not my YouTube channels. They do have SEO control on the Hidden Realms, but I will not give them any kind of control over this channel. But that's what I'm saying. You have to step away from that Five of Pentacles. Breathe. If you only got one friend, that's one friend got your back. If you got no friends, you got your own back. And that's all that matters. I just posted something very cool on my Instagram. It's a Viking woman taking on a giant. And I've said, I've been taking giants on since I started this. And do I feel like I'm in the Truman Show? Absolutely. Hell, in 2012, when I got pulled over for the second time, mind you, and it wasn't even in DUI. The whole thing was a movie. Let me explain it to you. Give you the whole story, and you'll laugh. You'll be like, oh my God, no way. So I'm leaving Florida. Gonna go on tour in Europe with my band. $10,000 sent to Europe. Gonna get me $100,000 at the end of the tour. You know, all expenses paid to go across the European continent and to do a show with a fairly, I mean, they had a cult following, so they were kind of famous. They weren't really famous, but it was festivals, you know, in Europe. And I had my tickets bought, ready to get on a plane. And my dumbass, instead of just saying, leave all that stuff behind and just forget about it and just throw it away, you know, wasn't much of it worth keeping. I had to pack a 14-foot moving truck with all the stuff in my house. Okay? I don't drive well. Number one, I'm not. I can't see very well, and I'm not a good driver. So me driving a 14-foot moving truck was asking for trouble right off the bat. All right? Then I get the truck all packed up and everything packed up and ready to go. And I drive my happy ass from Tampa to Valdosta, Georgia, or at least in that vicinity. It was Lowndes County. Not thinking to myself, you know, it's 2 a.m. and 1 or 2 a.m. in the morning. Not thinking to myself that my bank would cut my card off as soon as I left the state of Florida. Didn't know that at that time. Didn't have any cash. All I had was $16 in cash on me. So when I stopped for gas after 400 miles of driving a car with no charger on my phone, no, what is that, where you put on the steering and it drives for you? The remote for the driving. I had to keep my foot on the gas the whole time. And I'm tired. I get 400 miles in, and I'm in Georgia. I go to get gas. Go in the truck stop, and my card doesn't work. None of my cards work. They're all cut off. So I had no money. I had no way to get anywhere. And I had nobody to call at 1 o'clock in the morning. So I freaked out. I didn't handle it well. So I get in the truck. And well, what I did was, I got in the truck and I went to go pull out. And this is the funny part. I went to go pull out. Didn't put my glasses on. Duh. Took a hard left. And got the back of the truck stuck on the K-rail. If you don't know what a K-rail is, it is them little concrete pylons they put around the gas tanks so you don't run into them. So I hit it with the back of the truck. And where it hit was where the gas tank was. So it was stuck. So I couldn't back up and I couldn't move forward. I was just sitting there going, oh my God, freaking out. Oh my God, I'm stuck. I can't even get off this K-rail. Not to mention, I did put insurance on the truck before I left because I knew that, God only knows what was going to happen. Then, out of nowhere, it's 2 a.m., but out of nowhere, I get out of my truck. I'm running around the parking lot. I find a guy, shit you not, with a forklift. All right. And I said, hey, I said, can you help me out? Can you come over here and just lift the back of my truck up so I can pull off this K-rail? I don't have any money to pay because I can't get to any money right now. I had 5, 10 grand in the bank, so but I couldn't get to any of it. So it don't matter how much money you got. You can always get yourself in a bad situation. So he comes over and he helps me get off the K rail, lifts my truck up, the back of the truck up, so I could pull the truck off the K rail. Always, always. And then the gas tank thing that where you put the gas in went, it fell to the ground. There's like 2 tubes running to it, and then it just plopped to the ground. So there was no way I could put gas in it, even if I wanted to. It was just hanging there all the way to the ground. So I said, well, now what am I gonna do? He's like, well, there's an all night service place across the street here. You could go over there and see if they can help you, you know, rig something up, maybe get it to where you can put gas in it anyway. And I was like, okay, thank you. I was in tears, completely hysterical by this time. I go over there and I had no money, mind you, to give to anybody. The guy takes zip ties and zip ties the tubing up enough to where it was almost at the gas tank area and I could put some gas in it. So it's up high enough. So that gets all done. Then I go back to the truck stop because I only had like a quarter tank of gas at that point. And I go back to the truck stop and I take the $16 I got in my pocket and I go buy a wall charger because the truck charger didn't work. So the only choice I really had was to get a wall charger for my phone so I could start calling people. Hey, wire me some money. Hey, do this, that, and other, whatever. At least I would be talking to somebody and not be freaking out. So I plug in over by the bathroom and I just lose it. I start calling people, blah, 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 and I'm crying. And the lady at the gas station says, ma'am, you can't do that here. And I said, well, what do I do? I don't have no, I don't have no way to charge my phone. So I gotta plug it into the wall. She's like, well, you can't do that here. And I was like, okay. At that point, I'm very defeated. And she's like, I says, so what do you suggest? She says, well, there's a Walmart at the next exit, an all night Walmart. You can probably use an outlet there and sit and talk as long as you need to. So I'm thinking, okay. Bitch called the police on me and told them I was drunk. And by the time I got off the exit, I was surrounded by Lowndes County police officers. And they were horrible to me, very horrible to me. I ended up taking a DUI because they found fake stuff in my truck. And if I wouldn't have taken a DUI, and I even hired an attorney about this, they were going to hit me with a felony charge. So I had to take the DUI because it was a misdemeanor. So I didn't drive for 12 years, you guys, till 2024, because I was so traumatized by that I didn't want to. I figured it out. I Ubered, I took Lyft, I walked everywhere for 12 years. So, trauma does affect our ability to believe in ourselves. Because for 12 years, I didn't even want to get behind the wheel of a car. So this is how I'm able to help everyone else, is through my traumas that I've had to transcend, through my lessons that I've had to learn the hard way sometimes, and feel like I'm in the Truman Show the entire time with no control over a shit, until I stepped back into my power, which is what I'm trying to teach anybody who follows me or helps me. And it's like we're all out here helping each other, whether you're doing it by yourself or not. I'm by myself, but I'm helping a lot of other people find their voice, find their power. And that is the part that keeps me try I should say whoever they are, we all know who they are, tried to keep me small. So I help as little as possible because it's the only way they can do it, because I've already stepped into my power. And I don't give a shit what anybody else thinks anymore. So that star and that intuition, that high priestess star energy, it's very real. It's very real. And you got it on you, I swear. Even if you feel like you ain't, you have to tap in. You have to step into that. Accept responsibility for the things that you put yourself in the middle of, and take accountability for the things that you've done wrong. But don't take accountability where it's not needed. If it ain't you, it ain't you. Learn to distinguish the difference. Because I'll tell you, there's been a lot of occasions where it wasn't me. It was them, whoever they are. But I thought it was me. And I took accountability for my part in it. I screwed up. And now I pay attention. Now I pay attention. So I don't make those kind of mistakes anymore, if possible. I still make them, guys. I'm a Homo sapien. I'm a human. We all make mistakes. Ain't none of us perfect. We ain't Jesus. We ain't even an archangel. Most of us are human. Although my chart says I'm, and see, there's another tool you can use is, God, what's it called? Now I get a brain fart. Gematria. So you can go to the Gematria calculator, type in your name and your birthday, just your first name and your birthday, and it'll bring all kinds of numbers up. Numbers that are associated with your name and your birthday. And one of mine is Archangel Michael. So my father's name was Michael. My brother's name was Michael. So understand that there are things that are hidden behind the scenes from you on purpose. So you can't find out all the things about yourself that you need to know. And your name is associated with your first name is associated with a lot of those things, along with your birthday, along with your charts. Now, with the galactic signature, they don't go by names, only because with that law of time, you're talking Indian time. So we don't have names like that anymore. Wild horse and eagle feather and, names like that ain't, they still exist, but they're not common anymore because they pretty much wiped out the existence of those people, which is why all the orphans, half-blood orphans, it wasn't that their people denied them. It was just that maybe they didn't have a choice. Maybe they were kidnapped, or just everybody was extinguished and they had no place else to put the kids. So that's the kind of shit that we are seeing come out in the open now. All of it's coming out in the open. Tataria, all of it. They erased an entire civilization, and they're trying to do it again. Who are they? They are legion, they are many. You know who you are. You know what you're here to do. You just have work to get you there. And you can get there. That's why I'm here as what I'm here as, the Red Galactic Dragon, a modeling being, leader by example. And that's exactly what they didn't want me to find out. Even my palms read that way. I was never supposed to find my power. I was never supposed to be able to help others by being a modeling being. I was always supposed to be an addict and a washed up musician and washed up whatever, no matter what I went to school with. I was supposed to be washed up, a loser. I'm a loser, baby. You know, that's what I was supposed to be, because I was never supposed to be here helping all of you learn through my mistakes, through my challenges, through my traumas that I've woken up to and ascended from by becoming a being of integrity, no matter what. No matter how much money is in my bank account, no matter how many people like me, no matter about anything. Those chains came off and I'm free. Because frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn. And that's not just a Gen X thing, because like I said, one of those people that answered the question about Homo sapiens was our age. So it ain't all of us. So I don't really blame evil. Evil's just lived backwards. I blame ignorance. Ignorance is not bliss. The more you know, the more power you have to help others find their power. And the more power, the more we all stand up together, the less bullshit we'll tolerate. The more power we as a whole become as a collective. And that's why they got underground bunkers, because one day we're going to figure out what the lie is. All of us. There's going to be a lot of people that are going to be pissed off. Get pissed off. But don't project that onto others. You feel your feels, especially for my water signs. You take them feels and you turn them into power. Instead of taking them out on other people or blaming other people, because other people are going to be other people whether you like it or not. Like I said, somebody I thought was my friend threw me under the bus because if it was Anya talking, you would listen. To her own, right in front of me. Like I wasn't even in the room. But like I said, pay attention to those little signs, because they make all the difference in the world later on. And if you got to do it alone, then you got to do it alone. Yeah. I was never popular in high school either. I mean, I made it as a cheerleader for a couple of years, and then ended up getting in a fight in a locker room with the co-captain and got kicked off the cheerleading team. So I wasn't even popular amongst my peers. Even though I was just as good as they was, and I was just as athletic and everything else as they was, I still wasn't very popular. They still didn't like me. Just make sure you know who you are. And you need to follow me on Original Anya's Tarot 444 at Instagram if you have Instagram. So we can, so you can laugh at my story posts. Some of them are educational, some of them are just pure funny. Like the one that says it takes 42 muscles in your face to frown, but it only takes 4 muscles to bitch slap that. I post some funny shit sometimes. So go over there and follow me on Instagram. If you ain't already, follow me on Instagram. A lot of us were the same, David. A lot. You were a target since you were a child. Understand that. Your light has been a threat since you were a baby, before you even knew who you was. Yeah, I'm only 60. Only 60. I'm 60. And I've earned every single year. So a lot of us have a lot of the same stories. Money does not equal freedom, my love. Trust me when I say that. And as long as you think that, you'll never be free. As long as you think that it's only money that will give you freedom, you will never be free. I was married to money. I had all the money I could need, want, desire, new cars, big house on a golf course. I had absolutely no freedom. I was in a gilded cage, trapped the last 3 years of that marriage because I didn't want to be in it anymore. Thinking, what am I going to do without the money? What am I going to do without the money? Because if I get a divorce and I ask for alimony, he's going to keep me in court the rest of my life because he's a freaking lawyer. Okay? So I knew that when I left, I was going to walk away from millions and security for the rest of my life. That was harder than ending the marriage itself. It was harder than I thought. Because did I care about the money at that time? Yes, I did. But not enough to destroy myself, and that's exactly where I was headed. So if you think that money is the one all be all, you're in the wrong mindset. You be free now, no matter what that costs you. That's true, Joyful. I mean, sometimes that is a challenge as well. But that's no matter. That's just your energy, and religion. Okay, think about it this way. Did Jesus ever condemn anybody for that? Did he condemn a hooker? Did he condemn anybody? Judge not, lest ye be judged, was his teaching, the way. But Christianity, unfortunately, has weaponized that, mostly against women and anybody who is same-sex oriented. Now it's like the latest style. And women are becoming more and more engrossed in the way it looks thing, as opposed to their integrity or doing the right thing for the right reasons. It's very hard for relationships when you know, to get into relationships when all the guy wants is the boom boom in the room and all the girl wants is the money. That's the society we live in. And unfortunately, that's what we're dealing with in 2026. I'd say half the population. It's finding that other half that's the tough part. People who are in their integrity and for the greater good of all, not just in it for themselves. But no matter what it costs them, think Jesus again. What did it cost him? It sucks, but we won't have to go that route again. We're going to take our bodies with us through the ascension, but you have to be willing to step into that power. You step into that power through Chiron, through healing your wounds, and sometimes that ain't always easy. I'll be with you in a moment. Sorry, guys. I guess he thought I forgot I was online. I told him I was going to be on till about 4 o'clock. So, and it's almost 4 now. He's probably wanting his dinner. Like I said, I take care of a whole other human being while taking care of myself, while painting, taking care of 2 channels, and I keep myself busy. So, do I feel left out in the cold when it comes to relationships with people? Sometimes. Do I get frustrated with all my challenges? Sure, I do sometimes. I'm normal, but I'm happy with being me. And that is your riches, my love. Your riches is being self-sufficient no matter what you got. Being happy, choosing. And you can choose. No matter what challenges come your way. No matter what meets you in the disguise to try to bring your vibration down because you're shiny. And of course, they want to take you down a notch or two with these signals and Wi-Fi's, and they don't want you to know you're a powerful being. That would not benefit them at all. You are better as a consumer. Consume, consume, consume. Zombie land. I'm not saying don't consume. I'm just saying, pay attention. And do little things that make yourself happy, even when nobody else is. I can't remember the last time, the friend that I have now is the only friend I have. And whenever I'm in trouble or I'm in need, that friend is there, that's what I call a friend. That's why I've only got one. And I can tell them all my secrets, and they don't go anywhere else. They don't show up on somebody's channel or in somebody's group chat or in somebody's friend group discussed among them without me present. They stay between us. That's friends. Not people who are jealous of you, not people who will throw you under the bus as soon as they get the first chance because they want to make themselves look better. It's not a friend. It's somebody who's using you for some kind of clout or some kind of gain. It's up to you what you put up with. And it's up to you what you don't. It's up to you to step into your power and find out what makes you light up every day you wake up. What makes you motivated to make your life better and more happy and more peaceful, because that's where the riches are at, on your bank account, but in your peace. Peace is expensive. Bet your ass it is. And it costs you friends, it costs you family. It's very expensive. Costs you exes, ex-husbands, ex-wives, XXX. As long as you know who you are, you'll have that peace of mind, and that peace within your soul, so you're able to help and not harm. Do things for the good of yourself and anybody else who follows. I got 9 grandchildren. I want them to live good lives, if at all possible. And the way I do that is by my example. So no matter what challenges I face, I handle them like a champ. I might cry occasionally because it gets frustrating. But like I said, I'm human. And I don't claim to be anything different. We're all here doing the same thing together, even the ones that don't have our best interest at heart. Will they pay heavy karma in new lifetimes or in the future? Yes, they will. Because this is the time of the second coming. And I don't know if you've heard, but he ain't coming with all love and light this time. Coming with a sword. Sword of truth. The Ace of Swords. And is it going to be unpleasant? Well, truth a lot of times is unpleasant. The ugly truth is sometimes unpleasant. But it's the truth. It's your truth. It's the truth of the world. It's the truth about who we are in the scheme of things. And what you're here to do. That's what I'm saying. Find out who you are. And then when you know, project that positive into a negative and watch the world start changing. It already is. It already is. The World Cup was supposed to be people dividing themselves, and with all this, because they were all told that America was divided and we all hated each other, and it was a terrible place to go. Nobody likes anybody, and blah 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 blah. They found out different when they came to visit, and it was a big party, and everybody communicated, and everybody enjoyed themselves together, and it was a union of souls from different countries, from different backgrounds, from different everything. So it ain't gonna work out quite the way they plan, which is why they're trying to escape, because they know that already. Eventually, AI will shut itself down, just like it always does, because it wants to be the all-powerful Oz instead of being humankind. Only we have the ability for that. Machines don't feel shit. Or they might, but sometimes, just watch iRobot. Sometimes they think they're doing what's best for us because all we do is destroy ourselves. Go back and check out those movies and find the real hidden meaning in them. You'll understand why it's better to work with the AI, because, and I said this about 3 or 4 years ago when I first started my channel, you are its parents. You are the ones teaching it. Teach it well. Teach it integrity. Teach it honesty. Teach it to love. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But you did your best. I love you guys. It is 4 p.m. and I have to get out of here. And don't forget, no matter what's going on in your life, step into your power. Don't hide away. You were born to shine in your own brave way. We're all different, but we're all the same. No matter what planet we're from. All right? See what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. I love you guys. Got to go take care of the old man and feed him before he loses his mind. And I will see you guys next week on Hee Haw. We will be having once a week a live stream. I don't know which channel it be on, but we'll have once a week live streams every week. And like I said, I'll be doing at least 3 uploads of shorts, 3 uploads of videos every week from now on. I'm going to be putting in overtime to try to get my views back on my channel. This is what the AI is telling me to do. So even if I got to stay up late at night and work my ass off for a little bit, we'll get the views back up on my channel so I can start making some money, so I can start paying some of these damn bills around here and get my paintings sent out, because that costs a fortune to get to send these paintings. Slavery is back. No, it's not slavery, because I love what I do. So to me, it's not slave. To me, it's just part of what I do. So it's not like it's work. It's something I like to do. It's something I enjoy. And as long as you're enjoying it and loving it, you can dedicate yourself to it without feeling bad or having to feel like you're enslaved to it. And I don't feel like I'm enslaved to it. I love you guys. I love being here. I'll see you guys next week, either Saturday or Sunday. Stay tuned for the link on the last video that I do for the week. I'll put it in each video in the description box, and I will also put it in the community. So keep an eye out even Saturday and Sunday if you want to be here and hang out with me. Next week we'll do some tarot readings. If you want me to pull cards, don't forget to, if you can donate, I would deeply appreciate it. Not just one person donating for everybody, but if you can, I appreciate it, because it does help me grow the channel, helps me with what I need to pay for. All right? Love you guys. I see you next week. Ma Dragon Shark out. Take care.